On April 10th, the Convention of States Pennsylvania team held a rally at the Capitol and personally met with their state legislators, encouraging them to support an Article 5 convention.
Convention of States is about supporting Article 5 of the Constitution, and 3 points that we're supporting are term limits, government overreach, and fiscal budget restraints.
And we're not alone. There's 100,000 petition signers with us, 100,000, and a survey of all Pennsylvania voters show that 70% are willing to cross party lines if the candidate supports Convention of States.
Rita Peters, Senior Vice President for Legislative Affairs, headlined the event and was joined by State Senator Chris Dush.
All these jobs that the federal government is doing, all of these federal programs that it is doing without any legitimate power to do them, should be done by the states and by the local governments. And you know what? All of that money that we're sending to Washington, D.C., that it's spending on all of these programs that it has no legitimate authority to maintain, should come back to the states as well. That's where it belongs.
If not now, when? We're here, and that Article 5, Clause B, was put there for such a time as this. We are here for such a time as this.
The state director for COS North Carolina released a new video inviting locals to their Capitol rally on May 15th.
Hi everyone, my name is Vanessa Paulson. I am the North Carolina State Director for Convention of States, and I need your help. I need you to stand with me on May 15th to tell our Senate to bring House Joint Resolution 235 to the floor for a vote, and then vote yes for H.A.R. 235. Join me, Mark Meckler, Michael Ferris, Rick Santorum, and many other COS supporters at 11 a.m. on May 15th to demand that our state Senate hear our calls to save this country. Please head to conventionofstates.com/NC Rally 24 for more information.
Last week, COS Action's Article 5 resolution was introduced in Colorado with 11 co-sponsors. Colorado is now the 20th state to consider the COS resolution in 2024. Local supporters are invited to a Capitol rally of their own with Mark Meckler in Denver on April 25th. After getting stonewalled by committees in previous years, Maryland delegate Mark Fisher forced a vote on Convention of States on the floor of the Maryland House.
The gentleman's bill has been in the committee for 7 years, waiting for the chairwoman to actually vote on it and bring it up for a vote. I'm sorry, that's not equal rights.
Several of his fellow delegates stood in support of the amendment, which was ultimately rejected by the body.
I think this is a really reasonable amendment. As he mentioned, this is a bipartisan effort all over the country. It's going to do structurally the same thing that this amendment is going to do, which is going to essentially start a Convention of States on this topic. This would include the topic of fiscal restraint on our federal government, which I think all of us can agree needs to happen before our great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren are bankrupted. But it also includes a piece about term limits for our federal officials. I don't have to tell anybody on this floor in any party. We have all watched formerly grand members of our party in Congress publicly deteriorate because they have refused to let go of the power that they hold.
This was significant progress for the Maryland team, which received its first ever vote on the COS Action resolution. Happy Tax Day! In celebration, COS President Mark Meckler released a new video.
I don't know about you guys, but personally, I'm fed up with the government taking 30% more of our paychecks, my paycheck, your paychecks, your family's paychecks, everybody's paychecks. We could put your hard-earned money in your pocket instead of their pocket. You need to tell your legislator to vote yes on Convention of States. Go to conventionofstates.com and tell your legislator to vote yes on Convention of States.
Constitutional scholar Robert G. Nadelson penned a new op-ed for the Epoch Times, positing the need for an election protection amendment, while giving a shout-out to the Convention of States movement. Louisiana House Bill 114, an election integrity bill that the local COS team is supporting, passed through its second committee. That legislation is now eligible for a vote on the House floor. Check out these snapshots from COS events going on around the country, including Virginia, Maine, Massachusetts, Arkansas, and Pennsylvania. And now, you're up to date with Convention of States.